Let me ask you about these WNBA players, Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, who many are saying are the Larry Bird and Magic Johnson of the WNBA.
Caitlin Clark didn't just make history, she rewrote the game. With over 3,900 career points, she demolished the NCAA all-time scoring record, eclipsing even Pete Maravich by breaking a record that stood untouched for over half a century. And yes, she scored more than any man in college basketball history. But Caitlin's influence isn't just on the scoreboard. Her first WNBA season sparked a media frenzy, sent TV ratings soaring, and filled arenas coast to coast. While some of her WNBA peers have been less than welcoming, many NBA legends have been in awe since day one. But here's the twist. Not all of them are on board. So what do NBA greats really think of Caitlin Clark? Let's find out.
Anytime an NBA star talks about me, it's honestly a surreal moment.
Let's start with the one NBA legend who didn't hesitate to call Caitlin Clark the greatest, Shaquille O'Neal. Back when she was still suiting up for Iowa, Shaq made his stance crystal clear. "She's incredible," he said. "I'm going on record. She's the best ever." And the wild part is that he'd only been watching her for a year. That's how quickly her game spoke for itself. When she eventually broke the NCAA's all-time scoring record, Shaq took it a step further. Live on Inside the NBA, naming her the greatest college basketball player of all time.
Yeah, but she's incredible. Congratulations to her and her family. Yeah. Like the crazy thing is I'm just seeing her last year when they played LSU, but she's phenomenal. I'm going to go on the record and say she's the best female collegiate player ever.
But not everyone on set was ready to hand her the crown. Enter Charles Barkley. Never shy with an opinion, Chuck pushed back hard. While Shaq was ready to call Caitlin Clark the greatest, Barkley pointed to legends like Maya Moore, Cheryl Miller, and Diana Taurasi, players who built dynasties and left behind more than just stats. For Barkley, the missing piece is simple: championships. Clark may own the record books, but in his eyes, greatness is about winning when it counts. Yeah, stats fill highlight reels, but rings seal the legacy according to him.
Ever? Well, I don't know about you. You ever heard of Cheryl Miller, Maya Moore?
Yeah, I said what I said. Ever.
Diana Taurasi.
I said what I said.
No disrespect.
Listen,
Caitlin Clark is amazing.
This is my opinion.
Candace Walker.
Still, that didn't mean he doubted her impact. Barkley was clear. What Clark is doing for the WNBA is Curry level. He even called out the shade coming from some current players, siding with LeBron in saying it's time to give her flowers.
Y'all should be thanking that girl for getting y'all ass private charters, all the money and visibility she bring into the WNBA. Don't be petty like dudes. Listen, what she's accomplished, give her flowers. Stop being petty.
And speaking of LeBron, who better to weigh in than someone who's lived this exact story? He knows the weight of entering a league under a spotlight so bright it burns. As the most hyped rookie in NBA history, he walked into a locker room of veterans and critics, all waiting to see if he'd fold. So when he saw Caitlin Clark face similar heat, he recognized the moment instantly. "She's grounded, smart, and composed," he said. And coming from LeBron, that's not casual praise.
It is what it is, and I'm glad that Caitlin has a great head on her shoulder. She seems like it. I don't think I've ever met her. I don't think I've met her before. But it seems like everything is going to be great for her because she's a great talent. She seems like a great gal. And I hope she turns that franchise around to where, Tamika Catchings had it at one point.
And maybe that's what makes her story so special. The louder the noise gets, whether it's cheers or criticism, Clark keeps showing up focused and unfazed, just like LeBron once did. He also gave her credit for lifting the entire Indiana Fever franchise and acknowledged the broader role she's playing in transforming the league.
Caitlin Clark is the reason why a lot of great things is going to happen for the WNBA.
And when it comes to changing the way basketball is played, there's one name that always comes up: Steph Curry. Caitlin Clark hasn't just lit up scoreboards. She's shifted the entire perception of shooting in women's basketball. Her range, her confidence, and her style have led fans and analysts alike to call her the Steph Curry of the women's game. And here's the wild part: Steph agrees. Imagine being so good the greatest shooter in NBA history sees himself in your highlights. That's where Caitlin Clark is right now. Sure, we've seen moments like Sabrina Ionescu going shot for shot with Steph in the three-point contest, but Clark is doing it night after night from well beyond the arc with no hesitation.
Clark from the logo!
She stretches defenses past half court, forces rotations, and when defenders overcommit, that's when her playmaking takes over. According to Curry, it's that mix, deep shooting, sharp vision, and floor leadership, that makes her nearly unguardable.
Do you see any comparisons in the way like she shoots to your people compared to the way you two shoot? Do you see anything?
I saw somebody break down the release time, which is pretty much identical to mine. And then her just confidence. You can't help but watch when she plays, where she's shooting from, the range, the confidence, the flair. Like, she's a performer.
But here's the thing. As much as Clark draws comparisons to Steph, there's another NBA superstar her game quietly echoes. Not just in shooting, but in feel, in control, and in the way the game seems to bend around her. Enter Luca Doncic. When it comes to high-volume scoring, crafty rebounding, and elite playmaking, Caitlin Clark has shades of the Slovenian star, just with a lighter step, and Luca himself sees the resemblance. After watching her play, he said it plain and simple, "She shoots better than me."
I saw the performance. At least at 41, almost triple-double, yeah. He was shooting, letting that ball fly. I watched a little bit, but then I had to do some treatment. But it was amazing. I watched the first half, but she got to go in the second half, so I didn't watch that. I think it's more Steph Curry, man. It's a woman, Steph Curry.
That's big coming from a guy known for circus-style off-balance shots that still find the net. If Doncic gives you that kind of praise, you're clearly doing something special. And remember, this was before she ever set foot in the WNBA, because long before the records, the crowds, and the cameras, Caitlin Clark was already catching the eyes of NBA royalty. Even back in her AAU days, before the national spotlight in Iowa, one of the game's most complete scorers was watching. Kevin Durant saw a teenage Caitlin Clark playing at a pace that made everyone else look like they were stuck in slow motion.
Yeah, she's displaying some skill right now that's like, and she moving fast. Like, it look like she don't look like, it look like everybody on that court is way slower than her when she get into.
She wasn't just scoring, she was in total control. Every play ran through her, every possession bent around her decisions. KD said it himself. From that moment, he knew she was going to be a problem at the next level.
I remember watching her when she was a summer going into her senior year. I was her team from Iowa. Like, they played together so smooth, but she was always leading that. She always had the ball in her hands. Everybody was playing off of her. She just commanded the whole game. I was like, who the hell is this? She is nice. It was like, oh, she's the best player in the country. I was like, oh, damn.
He didn't just see potential. He said she was the best female player in the country. And if you know anything about Durant, that kind of praise doesn't come easy. Caitlin knew it too, and her reaction said everything.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's super cool. KD's always been one of my favorite players growing up, and I think he's one of the best players to ever play the game. So to have him say something like that, and I remember that moment he was talking about super vividly, one of the best memories from AAU basketball, so no, that's super cool.
Years later, when she led Iowa to their first Final Four in years, KD followed up with more respect, this time praising how she made everyone around her better.
Caitlin Clark, what she's doing, taking that mob out to the Final Four.
Yeah, she's just playing a great game. She's getting her teammates involved. And they got so many shooters. I watched them play Louisville.
And it wasn't just Durant. Veteran point guard Chris Paul saw the same thing, but from a floor general's perspective. For CP3, Caitlin Clark's game didn't just stand out, it spoke volumes. In a conversation packed with praise, he listed off her records, her impact, and her skill set with genuine admiration. Every stat, every highlight, he saw the full picture.
Shout out to you, Caitlin. It's been amazing to watch you hoop day in and day out, and not just to see the behind the back going left threes from deep, but more so just to see the passion and the joy that you play with, and to see the way that you make your teammates.
But if anyone understands what it means to carry the weight of a rivalry, it's Magic Johnson. While the media often frames Angel Reese as Clark's main rival, especially after LSU's title win over Iowa, Magic focused on the bigger picture, the numbers, the game, the impact. In his eyes, Clark clearly stands out. So when fans started drawing comparisons between Clark and Reese as the modern-day Magic and Bird of women's basketball, people wanted to know what Magic thought. And in a rare public cosign, he didn't hesitate. The comparison? Valid.
Let me ask you about these WNBA players, Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, who many are saying are the Larry Bird and Magic Johnson of the WNBA. Do you like that when you hear that?
I like it.
But he didn't stop there. Speaking as someone who ran the show for Showtime, Magic offered advice straight to Clark's teammates. Protect her.
We have to understand that both Caitlin, Angel, and Brink, who plays for my Sparks, they made the WNBA better.
And while Magic brought the weight of history, another voice came from the present. Kobe White. The Chicago Bulls guard got a front row seat to Caitlin Clark's game, and it left him speechless. After watching her dominate live, he didn't hold back. GOAT of women's basketball, he said. That wasn't just casual praise, it was raw. Respect for a performance that spoke louder than stats.
The one that broke the record was crazy. I think she put up 2 feet beyond half court, so for me to see it in person, she's legit. You know, she's the best. So.
And speaking of reactions, the next NBA legend saw something deeper in how Clark was being treated. Kevin Garnett. Known for his fiery intensity and no-nonsense mindset, KG looked at Caitlin Clark's experience through a different lens. As the physicality ramped up, the trash talk escalated, and moments on the court started to feel like bullying. Garnett didn't see it as disrespect. He saw it as respect, because in his eyes, that level of energy only gets directed at players who've truly arrived.
Some shit, and guess what? When you're it, when you got the bullseye on your back, when you it, it's gonna come with some shit, Yeah. Ain't nobody's hitting y'all with the step back in the high. Yeah. It's a compliment. Yeah, you fear.
It's a sign of respect.
It's a sign of respect. Start doing this bullshit too. When they start nipping you in, she's transcend the game. Today's game is what? High pace and threes. Nobody's game looks like hers.
Only the greats draw that kind of fire. And for Garnett, Clark had already earned her place in that group, not by avoiding the heat, but by thriving in it. But while Garnett saw her treatment as a sign of greatness, Rashad McCants went even further, and a lot louder. The former NBA player and college star jumped on X and let it rip. The face of the NBA is Caitlin Clark! Yay, I said it! She has handled criticism better than the people you consider the greatest of all time. Caitlin Clark, you're the GOAT. For McCants, it wasn't just about buckets or box scores, it was her poise under pressure. The way she faces a tidal wave of attention, criticism, and expectations, and still delivers night after night. That, in his eyes, is the true mark of greatness. And if anyone understands what it means to carry that kind of weight, it's the answer, Allen Iverson. Iverson didn't just play the game. For a time, he was the game. So when he speaks on legacy, it hits different. And when he looked at Caitlin Clark, he didn't just see a star, he saw a savior. Someone who's not only redefining the game, but uplifting it. To Iverson, Clark isn't just a once-in-a-generation player. She's the role model basketball's been waiting for.
What are your thoughts on Caitlin Clark?
She's everything. She's everything that we want in our sport. She's the perfect role model for what we want. You know, to hell with if she's a woman or a man or anything like that. It's just who she is. Class act off the court as well, man.
But hey, not everyone is riding the Caitlin Clark hype train. Even Knicks legend and broadcasting icon Clyde Frazier had something to say. And it wasn't exactly praise. During a Knicks vs. Pacers game, cameras caught Caitlin Clark courtside with her boyfriend Connor McCaffrey. It was a chill moment until Walt Clyde Frazier dropped a bit of classic playful shade.
And there she is, sitting courtside, Caitlin Clark. You know, when you think she doesn't look that formidable. I could stop her. Just put a ball.
It was probably more of a joking jab than real criticism. But even that tells you something. Caitlin Clark has the whole basketball world talking. From Gen Z fans to NBA Hall of Famers, everyone has an opinion. And now, with all that buzz and pressure on her shoulders, the question becomes, can she live up to it in year 2? Was her rookie season just the beginning, or a one-hit wonder? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more stories like this, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Like it.